Alright guys, welcome back to another week of Animal Crossing. We're going on week 8 and today we're talking about finding new villagers and getting rid of other ones that you wouldn't want on your island anymore. So how are we going to find villagers? So villagers are the people you invite on your island. You can have a maximum of 10, and once you reach a maximum, you're not going to be able to go back to 9 anymore. That plot will open and then be filled up the next day. So you're going to find them by either adoption, amiibo cards, or island hopping. And those are the 3 ways that we're going to go over today. So we're going to start with getting rid of villagers. To get rid of villagers, there's no foolproof way to do it, but there are some techniques. Well, actually, there is one foolproof way, and that's going to be amiibo cards, but we're going to go over time traveling real fast. So time traveling, you're going to go to the settings in your Switch, and you're going to move forward 15 days. And you're doing this while you're exited out of all games. So you're just barely turn on your Switch. You're going to go forward 15 days. And then you're going to click OK. And then from there, you open up your game. So you're going to open up Animal Crossing. And once you get there, you're going to be walking around the resident area. So like their houses, as well as the resident services building. So that town square area. You're going to be looking for a bubble over their head. This bubble indicates that they want to leave. I'm going to show you guys how it looks like on the Switch. So I'm just going to the settings, to date and time, and I'm going to hop forward 15 days. So after this, again, you're going to be looking for a bubble over their head. This either indicates that they want to give you something or that they're just going to ask you to purchase something. But when you're time hopping, it mostly means that they're ready to leave. So we're going to go through my island and look for who has a bubble. None of these people had a bubble except for Gonzo. There he is with a bubble over his head. We found him. We didn't have to run too far. He's going to ask about leaving the island. And a lot of times they're just like, hey, I'm leaving. Or, hey, I've been thinking about leaving. What do you think? And you get to make that final decision on if they could leave or not. So I don't want him to leave, so I'm going to say, no, don't go. But if I did want him to leave, I'm going to say, yes, go ahead. And then he'll be in boxes the next day, which means Isabel will make an announcement the following day saying that it's his final day on the island. He's going to be boxing up, and then he's ready to leave. So getting villagers to leave via amiibo cards. Amiibo cards are essentially trading cards that are for Animal Crossing. They made one for each villager except for the new ones. These were created for Animal Crossing New Leaf, which is the 3DS game. And when you do this, you're going to go to the ATM machine at Resident Services, and it's going to say invite via amiibo, and you're going to invite a villager. And this only works if you have the cards or if you purchase coins from someone. So you're going to invite them over for 3 days in a row. And while they're there, they're going to ask you to make them something through DIY. And if you don't have the recipe, they're going to give it to you. So that's a cool way to collect them. But they're going to ask you to create something all 3 days, and then all 3 days you are going to get the option to invite them to live there, but they're going to say no the first 2 days. They're going to say that they're too busy or that to invite them over again, and maybe they'll think about it. So on the 3rd day, after you create whatever they asked you to create and you go and you give it to them, the option's going to come up again, like, hey, you should live here. And when you ask that time, they're going to say, oh yeah, let me talk to Resident Services, and then they come back and they're going to say, hey, bad news, there's no room for me here. But are you okay with me asking someone to leave? And this is the only way that you could get someone out specifically. So you can ask them to ask a specific villager. So if I wanted to invite someone and then I wanted Gonzo to leave, I could ask them to leave, to have Gonzo move out. So right here, we're going to the ATM. We're going to use the amiibo cards, and it's literally just a trading card, and it has a chip in the back. So that's how it works with the Switch. You're going to tap it on the right Joy-Con. So we're inviting over Willow. Her little screen is going to pop up. Hey, she's just like, oh, you want me to go over? Cool. And they come over automatically that same day. So right once you leave Resident Services, you could go straight to the campsite, and that's what I do here. I just fast forward through it though. So now that she's there, you can ask her to move in, but this is only day 1, so you're going to ask her to move in and she's going to say no. Again, this has to be done within 3 days. So finding a villager through adoption. This is a 4-day process, and this only works if you have the online membership because you have to be able to go to other people's islands. So this works by you having a plot open already. So day 1, you have a villager with the bubble over their head. They're ready to leave. Day 2, the villager that asked to leave is in boxes, and they're ready to move out. And day 3, once they move out, you can go look for new villagers because that plot is open. So when they're in boxes, that's when you can ask them to move in. So on somebody else's island, if they're on day 2 and their villager is in boxes, you can ask that villager to come move in. But that's only once you have a plot open. So once your villager is in boxes, you can invite someone else to come take them. That way they don't just get like lost to the void of the game. That could be an option. But through adoption, you need to have a plot open, and then you can go on to find someone. So here we have Stitches. I had a plot open, and my friend had Stitches in boxes. So I went to their island, and I invited Stitches over to come to my island. So this is a way that you could ensure you're getting the villager you want without using Nook Miles tickets. Another way is using Nook Miles tickets. Once you have a plot open, you're going to go island hopping. So these are the mystery islands, and there's going to be a villager on the island only if you have a plot opened. So if you don't have a plot open, there's not going to be a villager there. It's just going to be an island for you to collect materials. So day 1, again, your villager has a bubble over the head. Day 2, they're in boxes, so someone can come adopt them if they wanted to, or you could just let them go to the void. Day 3, they are now gone and the plot is open. So day 3 is when you could go island hopping. That's when you could adopt villagers. That's how that works. So you're going to go island hopping. You're going to use a Nook Miles ticket. So you're going to go to the ATM, the same one we went to for the Amiibo cards, and you're going to buy a Nook Miles ticket. And from there, you have your Nook Miles ticket and you go to the airport. These take a lot of Nook Miles tickets, and they're 2,000 Nook Miles each. So it's going to take a lot to find someone specific that you're looking for. So that's why I encourage the adoption method. But you do find villagers that you might not have thought of. So that's a cool way too. So here we found Dizzy and we found Cookie. I ended up inviting Cookie to live on my island. So you invite them that day. They have to talk to Tom Nook or something like that, and they'll show up the next day. So after you invite them to your island, you're going to go back home, and the plot will be marked as sold. And then the following day, they'll be moving in. So in summary, the only way to get a specific villager out is through Amiibo cards. Adoption is the only way to get the villager you want, or Amiibo cards. So those two options, you'll get someone you want in. Amiibo cards will get exactly who you want out, so that'll work. Island hopping is beneficial because you'll find someone you might not have been looking for, as well as materials like gold or stone or wood. So hopefully you guys learned a little bit about finding new villagers or getting rid of villagers you didn't want on your island anymore, and hopefully this was beneficial to you guys. As always, see you on the next one.